Hello students, welcome back. Again, this is in continuation with our previous video where I think I had concluded by speaking about computer-based training. So taking it from there, we will see one more topic, something known as what is the role of technology in training. So there are four points what we can study under this topic. It's, by the way, one of the questions which were asked in your previous examinations. So computer-based training is one of those. Then you have something known as EPSS, Electronic Performance Support Systems. Then there is video conferencing and audio-visual techniques, which we all know about. Audio-visual techniques, I have already explained it to you. I think in the previous video, I think I would have explained it to you. Now have a look at the first point here, what we understand by computer-based training. So with computer-based training, the trainee is using computer-based systems to interactively increase his or her knowledge. So the computer is training the employees. So by the use of the computer, they are trying to increase their knowledge. So a very effective system. Why it is effective? We see one of the reasons as to why it's effective is like it reduces learning time, increased consistency, and more realistic. We will have a look at all these points after we look at one of the examples here. Now, I'll take an example of the training which is given to an interviewer. So, while we are trying to give training to an interviewer, if we use the computer-based training techniques, what happens is the trainee, that is the person who's getting training on how to exactly conduct interviews, what they will do is they will look at the computer as another candidate whom they have to interview. So the computer is the candidate for them. They will type questions. So rather than speaking to the candidate, they type out the questions, what they want to ask the candidate. In reply, the computer gives an answer to whatever question you have typed out. Or in case voice recognition is there, they can directly just speak to the computer also. So they can just speak out the question. But the problem is many times voice recognition, it tends to make mistakes. I think you also would have noticed it so many times while you're trying to speak with Google. So many times it has made mistakes because of the problem of accent. People's accent tends to differ. So a voice recognition many times doesn't work out there. So it's more appropriate to type it out. So the trainee, the person who's receiving training will type out to the computer whatever question he or she is planning to ask a candidate. In response to that question, the computer will give an answer. On what basis is the computer giving answer? The computer is giving answer on a basis where previously itself a certain set of questions, for that question what answer has to be given would be fed into the computer. Based on that data which is fed into the computer long back, based on whatever the trainee is typing, for that an appropriate answer the computer will give. There are many times where you will have to ask follow-up questions based on the answer that the computer gives. For all those follow-up questions also, the computer will give you an answer based on whatever is fed into its database. So now what happens is, after completing the interview with the computer, which is according to the training program, it's a candidate whom the person is interviewing. So after completion of this interview, the trainee who's undergoing the training for conducting an interview, this trainee will make down notes and will write down his or her evaluation of the potential candidate whom he's supposed to have interviewed along with the computer. So he will make evaluations and accordingly try to base his decision on whether the candidate is suitable for the position, on whether the computer is suitable for that position or not. Once the evaluation is fed, now the computer will give suggestions. on where the interviewer might have gone wrong. For example, the computer will give a suggestion where the interviewer has asked a question which might be a little discriminatory, which has to be avoided in the future. Now, because he's asked a question which is discriminatory, it might have quoted the person's religion somewhere, or it might have quoted the fact that that person is coming from a minority segment of the country, anything for that matter, or the economic background of the person this interviewer might have by mistake quoted. So all those things are dangerous for a company because it can lead to litigations, court litigations for the company in an actual interview if the interviewer asks something like that. So a discrimination might have been based on the gender of the person. So all these things, the computer will give suggestions on where the trainee has gone wrong and where corrections have to be made for this trainee. So this is obviously, so one advantage we will see from this. It is going to reduce the learning time. How the learning time will get reduced here? Because the moment the training session is completed, immediately a feedback is given, and where the mistakes have been made relating to that also a feedback is given immediately. Because of that immediate feedback given, the learning process also happens quickly. Whereas in the case of a human trainer, they may take their time to analyze where he might have gone wrong to give the feedback, but computer is a computer. Every detail is fed into the computer previously only. So the quickness with which the feedback might be given will be much more quicker. So because of which learning time reduces, and a very interesting point you see here, increased consistency. A human trainer, if they had a bad day at home, they would have fought with their wife or their husband, or they would have fought with their children, or they would have had some kind of tension at home. That tension they will be having and they will reflect it in office. So obviously they may not train that effectively in case they have had any kind of problem at home. All such kind of things. So a computer does not have good days or bad days. So computer is a computer always. So there will be consistency in the quality of training which is provided. And nowadays, computer programs, and one more interesting thing here. See, it ensures that the training is completed in every aspect. Now, you think of a mobile game, of any kind of a video game. There will be several levels in a video game. Only once you complete one level, will you be able to move on to the next level. Only once you complete learning, now from the perspective of this example what I'm giving you, when you're learning from the computer, only when you finish learning one step, the computer will allow you to move on to the next step. And computer will allow you to move on to the next step only once the computer is satisfied with what you have learned in the current step. So it makes sure that the learning is complete in every aspect. Whereas if we are speaking about a human trainer, because they are under pressure to complete training quickly and because of cost constraints and time constraints, half and half, if you have finished learning over here, they'll just move on to the next level of training, which is not very good for the company in the long term. So a computer will not do that. So obviously there is much more effectiveness in terms of learning, and there is also an increased motivation also here. Since feedback is given immediately, the learning happens immediately, so you're motivated to keep moving on quickly and learn step after step as quickly as possible. Have a look at the fourth point here. Nowadays, it's increasingly getting realistic. See, take an example of a training that is provided for a medical practitioner, for a physician. Now, when they are learning by way of computer-based training, what happens is a hypothetical patient's medical record will be given in the computer. So this physician has to read the record and type in what the diagnosis of that record. Not only this, they will also have to check the lab reports, which is also fed into the computer, and accordingly make their diagnosis. Then in the computer itself, for when we're speaking about a training program for this one, medical people, or for physicians, or for doctors, when we are speaking about a training program for them, there will also be an option where it's you'll have to click on examine chest. So once you click on the examine chest, how an actual this thing will be, how actually the lungs will be shown, how the actual heartbeat can be heard, all that will be displayed. So they can actually interpret the sounds that they are hearing from the heartbeat or whatever it might be, or the this one lungs or whatever it might be, and they'll be able to draw conclusions upon which they can base their diagnosis, upon which they can finally say what disease this hypothetical person is going through. So to this extent, it is realistic with these computer-based training techniques. Another form of use of technology in training is something known as an electronic performance support system, also called as an EPSS. So this is a kind of a computerized job aid. So first of all, let's try to understand what do we mean by the term job aid. So a job aid is any set of instructions or diagrams or any kind of patterns or whatever it might be, which will help you in doing your job. So let's take an example of a manual or a pamphlet which is giving details about a product. This is an example of a job aid. Okay, so what purpose does this EPSS exactly serve? Again, I will start off with an example. Now take an example of Dell. Now this is relating to the training program which has to be given to Dell's sales representatives. Now Dell comes up with almost 80 products per year. And regarding all those 80 products, sometime or the other, the customers will be having some kind of complaint relating to that. Now, obviously, when customer has a complaint relating to any one of those 80 products, what is expected from the salesman? The salesmen have to have knowledge on all 80 products. But is that practical? It's definitely not practical. See, we do not remember everything that we learn. The same thing is applicable even for training programs also. About all 80 products, see, I already told you around in the last video that by way of the lecture method, you can give information relating to products. But 80 products, if you give information, nobody is going to remember that much information. So we will goof up whenever customers ask us to help out with some kind of service, or whenever they give us complaints. We'll not know how to address the needs of customers. Now, this is where this electronic performance support system comes to our help. So what happens here is, whenever a customer has a complaint and they call up one of these customer service representatives, or maybe the sales representatives, whoever it might be, once they call them up, the sales reps or the customer service people will ask several questions relating to their computer, or based on whatever questions or complaints the customer is giving, they will keep giving them suggestions. All these suggestions or all questions that the customer service person or the sales rep is asking the customer will be based not on what they remember, but it will be based what on that electronic support system is providing them with. It's a computerized system. So this electronic performance support system, the moment you type out in it whatever the customer's complaints might be, it will tell you as a customer service representative to ask the customer so and so question. For that, the customer replies something. You type out again, and the EPSS will again guide you through what next question to ask the customer and ultimately solve the problem of the customer. Or it will give you a solution as to what you can give to the customer. So a step-by-step guide will be given by the EPSS for you to know everything relating to that product. Or let us say the customer says something regarding, okay, in my Dell computer, the microprocessor is not working or something like that, or the speed is less. So the moment you type speed relating to Dell, which model, out of those 80 models, it can be any one. So the moment you type out a net speed relating to so-and-so model, many options will be given as to what you can suggest to the customer to correct the problem that the customer is facing. So this is the way in which a job aid will help you in sorting out many issues. So a very effective training, computerized training technique, which is used here. And again, where an EPSS again comes to your help is the job is complex and has many steps. So if you forget even one step, it might be costly or it might be extremely dangerous altogether. See, again, take an example of a pilot. A pilot will use a job aid, and in that job aid, several checklists will be given as to what things are supposed to be done just before a takeoff. Among those checklists, by some mishap, if the pilot fails even on one of those items of the checklist, there is going to be disaster in the air. So obviously, for such training, for such jobs where you cannot afford to forget some things, a job aid, which could be in the form of an electronic form, will be provided to us. Then you have video conferencing. I think all of us know what is video conferencing. It's because of this technology of video conferencing only that I'm also able to create this video over here now and address all of you. I don't know how many of you are here, maybe 60 if I'm not wrong. So video conferencing is a technique where you can connect to many employees who are spread across many geographical locations. And now, right now, in this current scenario of the coronavirus lockdown, companies are working only on the basis of video conferencing techniques. So by way of video conferencing techniques, even training programs are also being conducted even now for the new employees who might have joined sometime in the month of Jan or something. So it's just within 1 or 2 months, this lockdown has occurred for them, Jan or Feb employees, or maybe those who might have joined in the beginning of March. For all these people, training is even now being conducted by way of video conferencing. And audio-visual techniques, I think I've already explained to you how audio-visual techniques works out. So with this, I shall be concluding today's video. I will see you people in the next video. Thank you.